All right, before we went to break, Tom was talking about what's going on in Bermuda. Now we can show you what he was talking about.
I found a webcam. A lot of them aren't working there right now, but
understandable.
This one is. This is from Nonsuch Island, which is a little island in Bermuda. There's a ton of little islands, kind of like the Maine coastline, okay? And this is actually pretty far away from where the center is. The center is about 100 miles from the western tip of Bermuda, and this is on the eastern tip. And you can see it's kind of nasty there, obviously getting pelted with rain, and some of these waves kick up off the rocks and spray all over the place. The winds are howling. On the west side, closest to the island, that's where the naval dockyard is, and I believe that's where the cruise ships come into port to go over to Hamilton, which is the capital, where everyone does all the shopping and dines out and all that, restaurants. They're gusting to 100 miles per hour there.
Gosh.
Yeah,
oh
cruise
my gosh.
season in September is...
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, you really need to...
You have to be careful everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the Caribbean, right? Anywhere in the Atlantic, that's Bermuda, and even anywhere here in the Northeast, because tomorrow, that guy is going up to the Canadian Maritimes, to places like Halifax and Yarmouth and, on up to PEI, Prince Edward Island. So
I'll stay right here and do some leaf peeping. Thank you.
Let's do that. That's a good plan. All right. We did pick up a ton of rain yesterday. In many spots, 1 inch to 2. A few towns picked up 3 inches of rain, and we've now got a surplus of rain across the entire state. We are okay now as far as the drought goes, and we could use a little break, and we're going to get that. This entire weekend is dry, starts with today. Cool air mass, though, coming in. Feels like fall out there with this chilly area of high pressure. The front that brought us the rain is out here over the ocean. It's going to provide a conduit for the Fiona to go up into the Canadian Maritimes, and by tomorrow morning, it's making landfall there, and I'll show you a little bit more in a second. Your morning temps as you step out, 40s with a little breeze. There's kind of a wind chill going on right now. It feels like 40 out there at the moment. We do have some sunshine for the first few hours. And then as the sun starts to heat the air, and when I say heat, I use that loosely. It's not going to get that warm today. We're only topping out in the 50s. Clouds will start to form. They're going to be up in the mountains first, and they spread down to the coastline. It'll probably stay partly sunny on the coast, but a lot of interior Maine goes mostly cloudy for the good chunk of the middle of the day. And with a breeze, temps in the 50s, and no sun, yes, that's a recipe for jackets. Go dig up the fleece that's in the back corner of the closet, or even the puffy coat, because you might need it. We're not used to it. Our blood hasn't thickened up yet, and it's not used to this season. Clouds will give way to more sunshine late in the day, and will clear out this evening, but it'll be getting windier, so that bite remains in the air. Yes, it's going to be quite chilly. Overnight, we fall into the 30s. Today's highs in the 50s, a far cry from where we should be, 68. Yesterday was close to that. We'll get back to mild temperatures this weekend. We'll get back to brighter sunshine tomorrow, and that bright sun will stay out on Sunday too. Sunday looks like the pick because tomorrow is going to be quite windy as Fiona goes up into the Canadian Maritimes. Showers return as we go back to work and school on Monday, and they probably linger into Tuesday as well. So Fiona is now a Category 3. The eye clearly visible. Island of Bermuda right there, about 110, 120 miles from it, and battering it with winds out of the southwest now. So those are warm winds, but boy, there are strong ones with those gusts around 100. It's going to go up into Cape Breton, Nova Scotia tomorrow morning, then PEI in the afternoon, and then Labrador, Newfoundland later in the day and tomorrow night. Winds for us could present us with some problems. Today, they're gusting in the 20s and 30s. Not a problem. Late tonight and tomorrow morning, though, we're going to see some gusts approach 50, maybe even top of it in a few towns in down East Maine, up in Aroostook County, and certainly the highest elevations of Maine and New Hampshire. With leaves on the trees, that is enough wind, I think, for some scattered power outages. I don't think it's widespread at this point, but if the storm tracks a little farther to the west, they nudge up the numbers a little bit, we could be talking about a few more problems. But right now, I think we're going to avoid big ones. Just some isolated to scattered outages in a few towns, so it might be out for a little bit. At least it's not the middle of the winter when it's freezing, right? The winds slacken off tomorrow afternoon, and then they're a non-factor late in the weekend. Obviously, the waves are going to be huge here. Not as big as Bermuda, but 10-footers tomorrow afternoon along the coast. Please be careful at the beaches. It's not quite beach weather anymore, so that's good. But if you're going to the rocks to check them out, stay way back. Don't be a statistic. Don't be a hero out there. You never know when a rogue wave could come in. Gale warnings are up. Seas right now 4 to 6 already, and northwest winds 20 to 30 knots. High temps today only in the 50s. It'll be partly sunny. chilly and brisk with that wind kicking up. Tomorrow, sunny, but still windy. It's warmer, though, 65 to 70. 70 degrees on Sunday. We get more showers Monday and Tuesday. Mild and quiet for Wednesday and Thursday. However, late next week, another tropical system, which is forming right now in the Caribbean and may make landfall early next week in Florida as a hurricane, could get up to our neck of the woods. So there's a lot to follow in the tropics right now. In the short term, it's Fiona. In the long term, it's Hermine, I think it is. I think that's the H storm this year, Hermine. So we'll keep you abreast of the situation, obviously.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.